guys, my name's Emily and thanks again for joining me. I'm a flight attendant for 9 years now and just love my job, and I've been having so much fun sharing these videos with you. So if you're new here, subscribe. We do a lot of fun stuff like family travel, and I'm married to a chef and so things like that. But I'll get right to it. Today I'm going to talk to you about travel benefits for flight attendants, and the reason a lot of us are flight attendants is for flight benefits or travel benefits or non-revenue standby travel, however you want to call it. And there's a reason for that, because they're the best. I've had so many cool experiences being a flight attendant and using my travel benefits. Sometimes I find that people don't use them, and I think that's strange. I do love this job, but I don't know that I would do all that is required if it wasn't for the lifestyle it provides. Air and tears. So, who gets to travel on your flight benefits? Well, for me, and I know that every company is a little bit different, but let's see, these are pretty standard across the board. But my parents, my mom and my dad, but also my stepfather get to travel. My dad is not married, but if he was, then his wife would get to travel too. My children, my husband, and we all travel. And then if I wanted, I could have one companion pass, but I don't, because it's a lot of work. But that's kind of the thing, is that some of this stuff is a lot of work. Now, they're really flexible as far as over the last year. It's been great to see some progress in that we are allowed domestic partners, or there's really just some hoops to jump through, and then you're allowed to use that for whoever really you wish. If you're not married or in like a binding relationship, you can even just do it as a friend for when you're trying to figure that, or when you don't have like an obvious somebody. For 1 year, I had my roommate. That's funny, I kind of forgot about that. Yeah, so I was living in Salt Lake City with my roommate. He was one of my best friends. One second. Okay, sorry. Part of the problem with doing this vlog is that it's kind of hard to concentrate and get to the point that I wanted to make. But yeah, I was telling you the story that for 1 year I had one of my best friends, and he was my travel companion. So we went to Paris together and visited Alex. Like, we had some crazy times, and he was able to travel all around. Now, the thing with that was that he had to pay some taxes. If you're not married, then it's not like totally free flights. He had to pay like a different kind of companion fare, but it was more like $50 a flight, I want to say. Like, it wasn't a ton. So if you're young and single and you're thinking like, oh, this would be so fun for me and my best friend to go travel the world together, you can definitely do that. Now, granted, if you get the schedule, that's another matter altogether, but I'll talk about that another day. So how they actually work is you don't even have to worry so much about exactly which airline you work for, because a lot of the airlines have what's called inter-airline agreements. So you could work for, like, I work for a regional company, and I'm not limited by that. We fly to Canada, Mexico, and the US and some islands, but I'm not like limited to that, because we work for all the bigger airlines, and then all around the world we have these things called Z fares. So really, so it's almost like you would set it up like a normal flight. Like, you go online, you line it all up. You have to do kind of like a lot of legwork on your side of like the research, and we have a travel department that I can call and get information on which flights and how and what. Now, I pay a little bit when I fly on some other airlines, but we're talking like very minimal stuff. Like one of my coolest experiences ever was that I flew with Air France from Paris to Venice. And what's cool about that is actually it kind of started out crazy in that like I separated from I was traveling with my brother and some friends, and we got separated in that I was gonna fly for free and jump on these flights, and they had tickets, so we separated for the day, and then my flight got like the plane broke, so they pulled everybody off, and that's where it gets really crazy as a as a standby passenger, because I was like, I'm never gonna get there, because what happens then is then all these people who are paying passengers roll over into the next flights, and they don't care about you. But so I go to the gate, and I remember it clear as day. I go to the gate, and I'm like, hi, okay, so I'm trying to get on this flight, like what's my options? And she tells me, well, what do you do? And I said, well, I'm a flight attendant. So, well, then you can jump seat. And technically that's a yes and a no. As a flight attendant, there's things called jump seats. And that's what I just did this morning. I came in this morning on Southwest, and they're called jump seats, so it's just for flight attendants. You wouldn't technically take your children on that, or your husband or anybody else. It's just for you getting to and from work. And so I was kind of like, well, I don't know if this is totally legit, but okay, sure. And so she gets me all listed on there, and then we get on the plane, and they lead me into the cockpit, which I'm definitely not supposed to do in America. I don't know. I'm gonna just say that was a European oversight that I kind of benefited on. And so what happened is they led me into the cockpit, and I got to be in there from Paris to Venice, and it was the coolest experience ever. They were opening that door up, giving me champagne, like first class meal. The pilots were so kind. I'll never forget, the first officer told me his job is like Christmas every day. They were sharing cookies with me from Germany that they had just been to the night before, and it's a good thing. It's a good life, this flight attendant travel stuff. So I definitely recommend it. Other than that, travel benefits, they usually start after about 2 weeks. So you get them pretty right away. And then, yeah, it's just the juggling. Now, what happens is if you don't get on flights, then that's where it all starts to get a little bad. If you plan on commuting like I do, and you have watched my vlogs, I sometimes don't get on flights, and sometimes I don't get to work. And that's the same for vacation travel. We're traveling next week, so I'm actually traveling alone with all 3 kids, so stay tuned. That's going to be kind of hairy or fine, I don't know. You never know. Haven't even looked at flights or anything, but then my husband and I are going to kind of be bopping around. My mom's going to watch the kids, and so next week I'll show you from start to finish how I kind of do that. Let me know in the comments below any other questions you have about travel benefits. Are you a flight attendant? Are you just interested? Are you trying to find a flight attendant that you can kind of like be her companion? I don't know if I can help you out with that, but it's a good plan. We're pretty good. We're pretty good girlfriends, I guess, for a small amount of time. Or, anyways, thanks for watching, and join me next time as I do a day in the life of a flight attendant. And yes, subscribe. Love that you're here, and I love sharing this information. I'm very active in the comments, so please, I do read them. So let me know what your flight attendant journey has been, where you're at where are you at in your journey. And you can always connect with me on Instagram with private message and ask me any and all flight attendant questions. I'd be happy to hook you up with our company info separately like that. So find me on Instagram under French Chef's Family, and then stick around with French Chef's Family for lots of fun vlogs and cooking and France. And we're going to France this year. I was just talking to my husband Alex, and we're gonna go eat in Eiffel Tower in the restaurant that he used to eat at in September. We're gonna take the kids there, so, and that's not totally for sure, but we're very excited. So lots of fun stuff coming up for our channel, so subscribe.